What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com recapping the news, and before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, I do have some pretty big exclusive news in this video, and the highlights of this video would be that I can confirm the Air Jordan 3 True Blue will return in 2026. As well, the Air Jordan 4 Tour Yellow will return in 2026. Now, I have more information on both of those pairs later on in the video. As well, we have a lot more from Jordan Brand in this video. As well, there is some news from Nike, some news from ADIDAS, and one thing from New Balance. And now, let's jump into the news. Alright, so we have some release details on the Action Bronson New Balance 992 Tiger Eye. So the pair will first drop on September 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time through a raffle at specializinginlife.com. That is Action Bronson's website. Now, if you miss out on that release, there will be a second one, which will take place on September 26th, and that will take place at New Balance retailers, and they're expected to drop online at newbalance.com. The retail price will be $250. Official images of Anthony Edwards' next signature shoe, the Adidas AE2, have leaked. Along with the images, we have release dates for 2 out of the 3. The third one we have a month for. So the first pair is known as With Love. And this pays tribute to the state of Georgia, and Anthony Edwards is from Atlanta, Georgia. This pair features an acid orange, core black, and acid red colorway, and they're going to drop on October 4th. This will be the first pair to be released. Now, the second pair, which I'm a big fan of, is the AE2 Blue Fusion. Now, the inspiration for this shoe is unknown. However, I do believe on the AE1 there was a similar colorway that released, and this pair features a Blue Fusion Zero Metallic Inline Burst colorway. This pair is going to drop on October 25th. Now, the last pair is known as Core Black, and it's one of the more simpler pairs. The specific colorway is Core Black, Zero Metallic, and Lucid Red. This pair is going to drop sometime in November. Unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, and the retail price for all three will be $130. Now, I really like the AE1. I like the look, I like the colorways, I love the campaigns that Adidas did. The two, when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan, I'll be honest, but they have grown on me a lot. And eventually I do hope to grab one. I'm not sure which colorway just yet. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the three down in the comment section below. For Kobe fans, we have a pair from Adidas that is returning, initially known as the Kobe 2. The name has changed to the Crazy 2, obviously because Kobe, his estate, is signed to Nike. But the colorway that is returning is the USA pair. Now, this is a shoe and an overall model you either love or hate, and this pair initially dropped in the early 2000s, and Kobe Bryant wore this pair on October 30th, 2001, during the Los Angeles Lakers season opener against the Trailblazers. Now, the shoes were a tribute to those who were affected by the 9/11 attacks, and the images shown is the original pair, it's not the new retro. I've seen some people like them, I've seen some people hate them. I've seen people say that they think they're so ugly that they like them. I'll be honest, I never was a huge fan of this pair, nor the model. And the pair will feature a Better Scarlet, Cloud White, and Team Royal Blue colorway. Now, they're expected to drop sometime in June. Unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, and no retail price as of yet. Moving on to Nike, and we have another Nike Air Force 1 Low NY vs NY dropping. However, with this pair, it's said to be a collaboration with Ja Morant. Now, going over the images, I didn't see any branding connecting to Ja Morant, but the rumor is that he helped design the shoes. Now, one thing I will note that on quite a few of his pairs, he does use Cobalt Bliss, and that is what this pair will use as well. So maybe he did help design the shoes. I can't confirm that, but from what I can see on the official photos, there is no Ja Morant branding. Now, the pair features a black Cobalt Bliss and white colorway. They're pretty simple overall. The shoes feature black nubuck on the upper, and then we have tumbled leather on the swoosh. Now, the Cobalt Bliss accents land on the Nike Air branding on the tongue, the lace dubre, Air on the midsole, and NY vs NY on the heels. We also have co-branding on the insoles, and then we have a black midsole and a gum rubber outsole to complete the look. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date. They're expected to drop fall, which means if they do, they're supposed to be released this month, but at the time of recording, we don't have a specific release date. I wouldn't be surprised if it was moved to the holiday 2025 season because that starts in October. Also, the retail price will be $125. We finally have new product shots of the Nike Air Foamposite 1 carbon fiber. Now, the initial and only images, or I should say video, that we saw of the shoes came from the Sneakers Live when they were showing them off. Now, I did do a mock-up of these sometime back. It was very close, but of course, seeing a first look is always better, in my opinion. Even if you don't like the look of the shoes, sometimes the mocks are better than what releases. But I feel like this pair is pretty clean, known as carbon fiber because it features carbon fiber detailing on the Foamposite shell. The pair is pretty much all decked out in black, but it does feature dark smoke gray detailing. Overall, I think this is a solid fall and winter shoe. It's a pair that you can wear and kind of beat up without worrying about it too much. The only downfall I could see about this pair is the translucent outsole. Those will probably yellow pretty quick. But overall, this is a nice pair. I definitely would pick them up when I see them on sale. Hopefully I do. I'm pretty sure they will go on sale. But as for the release info, they are currently scheduled to drop on October 10th. The retail price will be $240. Nike Basketball continues to drop sneakers that are attached to Kobe Bryant. Now, this particular pair isn't part of his signature line, but it's definitely linked to him. And this is the Nike Zoom Huarache 2K4. Now, we have another pair that is returning in 2026. This one is known as OT Black. Now, this pair will drop summer 2026, but before that, we have the return of the All-Star pair. Unfortunately, that won't feature LA on the ankle, at least from what I saw, but of course, things could change. Now, for those who like the model, I know I definitely do, and you want something simple, this pair features an all-black takeover. Now, some might remember back in 2004, specifically on November 12th, 2024, Kobe Bryant wore this pair to dunk over Dwight Howard, who was a rookie at that time. I'm going to include the image in this video just because it's kind of crazy, and I do like including images of dunks and so forth. I know in the last one I showcased Vince Carter dunking, but I'm happy to see that Nike Basketball is bringing back classic shoes from the early 2000s, even the late 1990s. I feel like it's time for a lot of these early 2000 basketball signature shoes and just basketball silhouettes to return. But for this pair, we don't have a specific release date, but they are expected to drop summer 2026, which means a release will take place between April and June. The retail price on these will be $200. In a video sometime back, I hinted about this pair releasing, not this specific colorway, but I initially heard that the Nike Air DT Max 96 Low would be released in 2026. Basically what I said is that there's a popular signature shoe that has been released, but they're going to be released in low top form. So I gave some hints. I didn't specifically say the model, of course, nor the colorway, and this will be the first time that the pair releases in low top form. So the first colorway to leak, this is also a sample pair, so things could change, is known as simply black and white. The official colorway is black, metallic gold, and white, and essentially it's like a reverse color blocking of the original black and white pair. So we only have the one image, but as you can see, we have tumbled leather in white on the overlays, black across the base as well as the midsole, and then we have metallic gold detailing on the swoosh logos and some of the stitching. Typically, I'm not a huge fan of low-top sneakers. Some of them I do like the Dunk Low, specifically the SB Dunk Low. There's a ton others, and then when we get sneakers that are traditionally in mid-top form, they go to low. Some of them I like, some of them I dislike. A pair that I really liked was the Air Jordan 7 Low. I really liked that pair, but this looks good in my opinion. This is something I definitely would pick up, and I'm excited to see additional images and more colorways because I'm sure they're going to drop more colorways as well. But summer 2026 is when this pair is expected to drop, and the retail price will be $170. Another shoe that it seems that many are excited about returning is the Nike Air Foamposite Pro Pine Green. Now, I leaked that this shoe would return months and months back, And then we saw the pair on the Sneakers Live. That was our initial viewing of the 2025 pair. The viewing was decent, but in my opinion, I do feel like these images are better. And of course, it overall gives us a better look at the shoes. And it does look like they did pretty solid on this pair. Sometimes, as you guys know, when Nike brings back a shoe, they mess things up. This looks pretty good. Now, this isn't an OG colorway, but it's an older one. They initially dropped in 2011. So this will be the second time that they hit retailers. Now, the images that were initially going around was a screenshot from the Sneakers Live. And in my opinion, the green looked a bit off. But I do believe that is from the lighting. There was also a standstill image which also looked off. It was like a product shot that was provided from Sneakers. But again, I like what I'm seeing here, but it could be something you may want to see in hand to get a better look because the lighting is going to be all over the place. I will say though, the outsole looks good as well, and I definitely am excited to pick this pair up. I've been going back and forth on buying them, but I definitely do want them. It's just that $240, it's kind of steep, and there's a lot of stuff dropping in December. So I got to make a list of, the top priority pickups. But specifically, this pair will drop on December 19th. Let me know your thoughts on this pair down below. Do you plan on picking them up or passing? Moving on to Jordan Brand, and we have official photos of 2 upcoming Jordan Trunner OS releases. Now, typically, I wouldn't showcase them. Not that it isn't a dope shoe, but just for the simple fact that we don't have a specific release date. Now, of course, if it was a more popular silhouette, then yeah, I would showcase the official photos. But the real reason why I'm showcasing it, because we don't have a lot of Jordan Brand news. The turnaround on this video is somewhat short. I decided to do a news video because I'm not done with the bigger video I have, and obviously I'm dropping some pretty big info at the end. But the 2 colorways include Archaeo Brown and Purple Smoke. So the Purple Smoke pair is a new colorway that just popped up. The Archaeo Brown has been going around for some time. Now, the specific colorway on the Archaeo Brown is Archaeo Brown, Persian Violet, Earth, and Aluminum. The Purple Smoke pair features Purple Smoke, Grape Ice, Coral Stardust, and Light Photo Blue. Now, there's expected to be multiple colorways dropping in October. I'll make sure to cover that in my October 2025 release dates video, but these 2 are expected to drop sometime in October. Unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date for the 2. I'm sure it'll be coming soon, and the retail price will be $115 each. Small update on the Air Jordan 5 Tokyo. Now, I'm sure a lot of you already know this information, but the release date has been confirmed. Initially, it was supposed to be September 27th, and then it was moved to September 30th, and now it's locked in for the Sneakers app on September 27th. Now, I'm still working on getting specific numbers on sneakers from the Sneakers app, and I just found out it's a lot harder than I expected, but I'm going to try to do that. Now, from this tool that I do use, I can only say low, medium, and high. So from what I'm seeing, and this is for the US Sneakers app, size 3.5 to 6.5 will be low stock. Then 7 all the way up to 12 is said to be high stock. Now, unfortunately, I wish I could say these numbers, and soon I will be able to. I am working on that. Now, size 12.5 is medium stock. Size 13 and 14 is high stock, and then size 15 is low stock. Nothing's loaded for 16, 17, and 18. It looks like it's also going to load in Japan, but it's like straight low stock from 7.5 to 11.5. In Mexico, all they have loaded is a size 7.5, and Korea has 8 to 11, all low stock. So now I'm not sure if the information is going to change for Mexico, Korea, and Japan, but this is locked in for the US at minimum. Also, the retail price will be $215. Alright, so some new images popped up of the Air Jordan 11 Gamma, and I wanted to showcase that with you guys. Nothing new on the information front. Everything is still the same. As most of you know, this is expected to be a big GR. Tons of pairs available. Don't have specific numbers. I haven't seen people posting specific numbers on this pair, but if they are, believe me, they're inaccurate. But I will say probably close to 1 million. Typically the Jordan 11, there's over 1 million pairs produced, because the 11, it just doesn't hit with sneakerheads, but just people who want a fresh pair, they like the 11s. Every time around Christmas, I always get hit up by people who I haven't talked to in months, asking about the shoes, if I can get them for them. I'm not going to lie, typically I just don't respond. They don't even ask, hey, how you doing? It's like a straight, can you get me X, Y, and Z? Some of them even ask for a deal. It's like, I don't control that part of it. I don't even sell sneakers, so I don't know how I'd give you a deal. Anyways, this is one of multiple Air Jordan 11s dropping this holiday season. They will be available in full family sizing, and the pair initially dropped in 2013. Still, I think the Air Jordan 12 Gamma is better in my opinion. Some people may disagree with me. I just always liked that color blocking on the 12s. And I really hope that one day those return, because I'm definitely getting 2 pairs of those. I regret passing on the OG release. But yeah, ultimately just wanted to showcase the new images. They're currently scheduled to drop on December 13th, and the retail price will be $235. A couple weeks back, we saw a preview photo of the Air Jordan 4 Sierra Red. Now we have additional images that confirms that this pair is the Valentine's Day 2026 release. Now this will be a women's exclusive, and the pair features a pale ivory, Sierra Red, and tough red colorway. Now the lighting on some of these images could be a bit better. It looks a little dim. Also, as some of you may know, I've removed the background. But as you can see, it features pale ivory leather up top. The leather looks decent. Of course, that's something you want to judge having them in hand. And then just behind the overlays around the toe, you can see a little bit of red peering out. Now there's metallic red on part of the midsole, and that is rumored to be inspired by nail polish. More red lands on the Jumpman branding, Flight and Jumpman on the tongue, the eyelets, liner, and inside of the tongue. Now connecting to Valentine's Day, we have red lipstick kiss marks on the insoles and on the inside of the tongue. Overall, it's not a bad shoe. I think they did better on the Air Jordan 3 Valentine's Day. It seemed that a lot of women were excited about that pair. My fiance's friends, they were asking her about that shoe because they saw it on TikTok or somewhere and they really liked them. Of course, they're not into sneakers. They just like that shoe. So it's kind of weird. But again, it's personal preference. You may like this more than the other. I think additional photos with some better lighting would do them a bit more justice. But for now, they're scheduled to drop on February 7th, so just before Valentine's Day, and the retail price will be $220. Also, if I forgot to mention, this will be available in women's sizing. I'm not going to lie, we've been getting some pretty trash images of the Air Jordan 5 Wolf Gray. The initial images that went out, it was a fake mixed in with AI. Then we saw another set of images that just looked wonky. It was one of those pairs that were smuggled out of the factory, so it kind of looks disproportionate. Because some people may not know this, but some people I'm sure do, is a lot of these pairs that we receive first looks of, they're stolen from the authentic factories. Now, don't get me wrong, there are fakes that go around and it's somewhat hard to decipher. You got to do some vetting, of course. But ultimately, these pairs are stolen, if we're being 100% honest. Jordan Brand is not seeding these individuals' early pairs to give people a preview. If that was the case, no offense to the individuals who leak first looks, but it would be from somebody who has more of a following, like a household name. It wouldn't be just a random XYZ on Instagram. Again, no offense. It's the reality of it. So yeah, if you're against that, I do apologize, but I wanted to just be truthful on the situation. But I will say that these images are a lot better than what we saw. Again, I think we have an issue with the lighting a little bit. The same individual with the Valentine's Day Air Jordan 4 took these photos. Only thing I would recommend to him is when you take these type of photos, if you can go outside, get some better lighting, that would be great. I think everybody would be happy with that. Now, the pair does feature a nubuck upper, but as you could see, it's very crinkled. A lot of people were thinking that these were worn, and that isn't the case. I don't remember the original pair being this crinkled, to be honest, if crinkled at all. I know it has a nubuck. I know I have the pair behind me somewhere in a stack of sneakers. The original pair, not the new retro. But there are a few things that I do like about the 2026 version. For example, the 23 font has been updated, so it does look like the OG style font. I know this isn't an OG colorway. It initially released in 2011, but I'm okay with them giving that style of treatment to older retros. I don't think every sneaker should have the new font of 23 on this side, nor Do I think every shoe necessarily needs to have Nike Air on the heels? Unless it's an OG or a collab, I can understand that. I know I said I didn't mind it, but now I'm starting to see it a bit oversaturated. We have some random colorways coming out with Nike Air. I just don't want to see them kill it, I'll be honest. And I also don't mind the Jumpman on some sneakers. But I will say this is a pair that I kind of thought maybe it would have Nike Air, since it is an older retro, and Jordan Brand has been switching things up a bit here and there. But I'm okay with the Jumpman as well. I just like that they updated the shape. Now, as for the release info, this pair is currently scheduled to drop on January 10th, and the retail price is $220. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm getting a little bit tired of these retail prices going up. It's making it almost impossible to get the sneakers that you want. 2025 has been one of the best release years from Jordan Brand, in my opinion, and I've been doing this for quite some time. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been collecting or been around the scene for some time as well, and some of you probably will agree with me. Now, 2026 is shaping up to be pretty good as well. Probably not as good as 2025, but there's still a lot of stuff coming. You saw the thumbnail, you see the title, and now I'm going to talk about some exclusive news with you guys. First up, we have the return of the Air Jordan 4 Tour Yellow. Now, what's crazy is maybe 4 or 5 months ago when I was still doing reviews, unfortunately, I had to stop. There's a whole story behind that. I was debating about quitting, and then I was kind of forced into quitting. I'm okay with it. Essentially, I leaked some information that wasn't supposed to, and yeah, so I'd rather leak information than do reviews, so I chose this. But what I was getting at is, during the reviews, I would do some unboxings of some older stuff that I had laying around, and one of the times it was the Air Jordan 4 Tour Yellow. And I remember a lot of people wanting this pair to return, and it's going to happen. Now, this isn't an OG colorway, but they initially dropped in 2006, part of the Rare Air series, as well as Jordan Brand's Lifestyle series. So the Lifestyle series, the sneakers were somewhat on the limited side. They weren't available just anywhere, and matching apparel was available. As for upcoming releases from the LS series, we have the Air Jordan 14 Black and University Blue. As well, the Grape Air Jordan 5 was once part of the LS series when they dropped back in 2006. Back then, even though a shoe was considered somewhat limited, Eastbay would still get them. So I remember buying my pair from Eastbay. And what's unique about this pair, it does feature a removable tongue patch. This was a time frame when Jordan Brand was more so tinkering with lifestyle colorways, stuff outside of the Chicago and OG colorways. And I consider this era one of the best for new colorways introduced to the market. So for the 2026 pair, they're expected to feature a white, tour yellow, dark blue, gray, and black colorway. The pair shown is the 2006 pair, not the new pair, so it will have an updated shape. Unfortunately, this information is super fresh. I didn't want to leave it on the back burner for too long. So details are still coming out, but I was told that this pair will return amongst some other stuff. 2 of them I'm dropping in this video. The other stuff I got to wait just because I want to double and triple check that information, because one of them is kind of wild in my opinion. So I'm not sure if it's going to have Nike Air. For now, expected to have a Jumpman. Personally, I would rather have the Jumpman. I just feel like it's more fitting. Don't get me wrong, Nike Air would be nice, but it's something about this shoe, the colorway, and then the Jumpman just fits in really nicely. I'm more excited about the updated shape because, as you can see in these images, I don't like the height of the tongue. It sits way too high in my opinion, but during that time, I didn't mind it. Now that we're getting treated to OG molds, I'm enjoying it too much to go backwards. But for this pair, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but they will drop part of Jordan Brand's Fall 2026 collection, which means they're expected to drop between July and September. Also, the retail price is expected to be $220. Alright, for the second piece of exclusive news in this video, I can confirm that the Air Jordan 3 True Blue will return in fall 2026. Now, for those who've been watching these videos for some time and been visiting the comment section, many of you guys know about the Sevens guy. He would comment needing the Sevens back. It was a streak. I haven't seen him in a while, but there's another streak that's going on. Shout out to Air Coded, because he's been asking for the True Blue 3s to return for quite some time. And yes, I got the news the other day that this is one of a pretty solid fall 2025 lineup returning. And to run down some history for you guys, as most of you know, this is an OG colorway, first dropped in 1988. We saw the first retro take place in 2001. That pair featured the Jumpman logo instead of Nike Air. Fast forward to 2009, we saw the True Blue 3 return again, but for unknown reasons, they launched outside of the US. 2 years later, in 2011, we would see the pair drop again, but this time in the US. Now, with those two releases, they were further away from the OG. Yes, it lacked Nike Air, it had the Jumpman, but instead of red on the inside of the tongue, it had blue. And then the last time we saw them drop was in 2016. Now, I picked the 2016 pair up. I love this colorway, but I will admit the 2016 pair, although it's the closest that we've gotten to the OG, it was still pretty far off. The elephant print wasn't right. Yes, it did have Nike Air on the heel. That was great. It did have red on the inside of the tongue. But on OG pairs, you're not supposed to really see the red on the trimming of the tongue. It's supposed to be tucked away. And the elephant print wasn't close to the OG at all, in my opinion. It was too high. The shading was off. A lot of people complained about the consistency of the elephant print on the Black Cement Air Jordan 3, but that's how the OG pairs were. The consistency was all over the place. It was more faded in areas than others. And I'm going to use images in this video of the 1988 pair and the 2016 pair. You know, it was really hard to find some decent photos of the OG pair, so I gathered what I could. Some of the images were just too small to use, that it would look stretched out and be very blurry in this video. So that's why I'm also adding in the 2016 pair. Now, from what I was told is that the pair will be true to OG. And I hope Jordan Brand keeps their word on that, because they've said that before, and although they've gotten close on some other pairs, there's still imperfections. There's still some things that have been off. Now, using the 1988 pair for the example, if the elephant print is just like this, the overlay is thinner around the toe, the shading and all that, I would be super ecstatic. Also, the red on the inside of the tongue, I want that tucked away. And these are things that we can expect. I don't want to say confirmed because I haven't seen the pair. Now, I do expect this pair to be a GR. Should be available in full family sizing. And the retail price is expected to be $220, although that could change. Now, I'm going to have more leaks soon. It will be an exclusive first posted on the YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button below, because either at the end of this week or next week, depending if I'm done with this other video I'm working on, I'll be dropping more leaks. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. I do plan on dropping another video this week. I'm working on a somewhat bigger video, but if I'm not done with that, then expect another news video. Should be Thursday, possibly Friday. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Now for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down below. Also, if you have any questions, leave those down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.